What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Quick Learns Media. In this video, I wanted to share with you the exact setup of my home studio, piece by piece, as well as a few other options for in-home studios that would run you less than $1,000. Let's go. All right, you guys, before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you don't miss any of the information. If you're returning to the channel, thank you for coming back. I appreciate you. So the first thing you're going to need for a home studio is a computer. I personally use Apple computer because I find it's the most user-friendly, as well as it has two stock systems on it that are very important for making music as well as music videos, which the first one is called GarageBand, which allows you to mix, record, edit, master your music. It's pretty much your music studio, as well as iMovie, which is a video editor system. So that's where you're going to do all your music videos from. So these two are stock systems that come with the Apple computer. They're very user-friendly, and they're great systems to use if you're just starting out with making music and making music videos. All right, you guys, so the second thing you're going to need is a DAW, which is a digital audio workshop. This is where you're going to record, mix, edit, and master all your music. Now, the DAW that I personally use is Logic Pro X. So this is an Apple product. It costs about $250, $300. It's an app that you buy. You buy it once. You have it for life. It constantly updates itself. It's very user-friendly. And it's an upgrade from GarageBand, which comes stock on Apple computers, which I knew I was going to be doing this music stuff pretty seriously. So I just went ahead and skipped over the GarageBand and went right to the Logic Pro, because one thing of advice that I would give to you is that pick a DAW that you want to work with and stick with it, because you're going to have to learn all the ins and outs of it, which I'll be doing some videos on Logic in particular, but you don't want to be bouncing around from one DAW to the next. It's just too much stuff to remember, and you got to find your groove with one of them, so pick one and stick with it. Now, the third thing you're going to need is a studio space. So me personally, I didn't have much space to work with, so I had to use my son's walk-in closet, which is about 4 by 4 feet. In a perfect world, you want a room that has a little bit of space in it, maybe something at least 10 by 10 feet, something to where the vocals, when you're singing and when you're rapping, you have a lot of room for the sound to bounce around in. But again, if you're like me and you don't have that much space, available space in the house, and you have to use a walk-in closet, it's all good, because that's what I do, and I'm about to show you how to make it work. So number 4, you're going to need a desk and a chair to sit at. You know, I know you see a lot of these things where people are standing up in the booth and rapping and recording, but the reality is that they're not mixing and mastering and editing all their own music as well. So if you know, most independent artists sit down when they make their music, because they got to record it, then they got to stop it, then they got to listen to it. If they didn't like it, they got to hit a couple buttons to re-record it, to do it again. So you can't be jumping up every second you're trying to do that, stand up in the booth, come sit down. It's just too much up, down. So the reality is you're going to want a desk and you're going to want a chair, preferably something comfortable. All right, so the next thing you're going to need is a microphone. So this is one of those things that can vary. I mean, they got microphones anywhere from $100 to $5,000. To be honest, you don't need to go out and spend all this crazy money at first on a microphone. I use a $150 microphone and it works just fine. I've had it for a few years now and it works great. At this point in the game, I'm probably soon going to upgrade the mic, maybe to something a little bit nicer. But honestly, a lot of the sound comes from the way you're recording it, the kind of setup that you have as far as studio-wise, and it also comes with mixing and mastering your music. That's what's really going to make it sound good, not so much the microphone. All right, so here's the microphone, you guys. This is the MXL 770 condenser mic. It's on Amazon here right now for $129. I find it's a really good microphone. I've had it for 2 years now, and it works great. Again, there's a lot of different styles of mics you can get. Just make sure that if you're using it specifically for vocals, you get a condenser microphone, not a dynamic microphone, because the condenser microphone is gonna be able to pick up those vocals really nicely as they kind of move around the mic. So it's really important that you get a condenser microphone. So the next thing you're going to need is something called a pop filter, which is this thing right here. So this is something that you put in front of the microphone that prevents all those p and p sounds with the P's and the B's. So it's one of those things, man, that if shows up in the music, it makes you really sound like an amateur. It makes the music sound very low quality. So it's a very, very important purchase to get. It's about $15 and it's essential. All right, so this is what the pop filter looks like, you guys. Looks like on Amazon here, they got this for about $20. Honestly, you could get any type. They're all about the same price. They all work just as good. Just make sure you get one, you guys. Crucial. So the next thing you're going to need is a microphone holder. So if you're at a seated desk, you're going to need something that's going to hold this microphone attached to the desk, and something that you can maneuver around and have different kind of placement on it depending on where you want to sit, or if you want to stand, and what you want to do. So this is what the microphone holder looks like. There's a lot of different styles. Looks like this one here on Amazon's $30. I have one very similar to it. It's really nice because it connects to your desk. It's really mobile, so you can move the microphone wherever you want it. You could even lift it up vertical if you like to stand when you're singing or rapping. But also keep in mind, the next thing I'm about to show you is the microphone isolation shield. Now this is really good because it's a 2-in-1 thing that has the microphone holder as well as some acoustic paneling that surrounds it. So it really keeps the vocals and all the sound from not bouncing around everywhere. But again, with this microphone isolation shield that you're about to see, it's not very mobile. It only goes up and down, so it just depends on what you want. All right, so the next thing you're going to need are some mic cables. And what this is going to do, this is going to hook up to the microphone and then hook directly into your interface. So it's going to bring all the sound from the microphone right into the interface, and then from the interface into the computer, which is going to go into your DAW or your studio. The only thing I'd say about these mic cables is make sure they're at least 15 feet long, because some of them are 3 feet long and 6 feet long, and it's just too short. You don't want to have length and size issues with your cords and not have enough room to stretch it. You want flexibility, so at least get 15-foot length mic cables. So this next thing is something that I'd recommend on getting. It's something that I'm about to purchase because I think it's really a cool product. It's a microphone shield. So this is something that you put in front of the microphone, and it basically has acoustic around it. So when you're recording into it, it's blocking a lot of the sound off the top. So it's a very, very good product to have. It's a great thing. You can set it up in the hotel room, and it's a great way to make music and still have it sounding good without having to have all this acoustic stuff all over the walls. All right, so this is what the microphone isolation shield looks like. Here on Amazon Prime, it's running about $50.99. The numbers that you're seeing here on all these prices, you guys, is Canadian dollars. So USD is going to be about 25% cheaper. So if you're in the States, just know all the calculations are going to be a little less than what you're seeing here. Again, the microphone isolation shield is a beautiful thing, you guys. It's something that I definitely want to add to my studio setup. It's great for traveling if you're doing music on the go in a hotel room, anything like that. Or if you just don't want to have to put a whole bunch of acoustic paneling all over the wall, you can just get this isolation shield, and it's going to block a lot of the sound when with your vocals right off the bat. It's still good to have some of the paneling around, but if you can get this, it's going to eliminate a lot of that sound for sure. All right, so next thing you're going to need is really important. This is an interface. So an interface is something that connects your microphone to your computer or your DAW. And this basically brings all the sound that's coming from these microphones and these instruments and puts them into the DAW, onto your computer. That way you can listen to it. All right, so this is what the interface looks like, you guys. This is the one that I have. This is the Focusrite Scarlett Solo. It's going to run you about $169 on Amazon. Again, that's Canadian dollars. So this is a really good one if it's just you in the studio with your vocals, or if it's just you playing your instrument and also want to do vocals. It's really good for that. Now, if you're going to have a whole band and stuff like that, then you're going to want to get one that's a little bit bigger, that has some more connections in it, so that way other instruments can be plugged in. But as for this one, if you're just doing some independent stuff, this is all you need right here. So the next thing you're going to want to get, you guys, is some headphones. I'm not talking about Dr. Dre Beats or JBLs or anything that sound really good that you take to the gym. You're going to want to get specific ones for mixing and mastering your music, because these type of headphones, when you listen to your music, it's going to tell you the truth. Doesn't have all these built-in things to make the bass go up and all this stuff to make it sound really good. It's really important for when you're mixing and mastering your own music. You're going to want these type of headphones. All right, so these are the headphones, you guys. These are the KRK KNS 6400 studio headphones. These are the ones that I have. I love them. They never lie to you. They're running you about $120 on Amazon. They're great for the studio if you're just going to have them on and doing all your mixing and mastering. I'm telling you guys, these are really, really good. I love them. They're cheap, and yeah, they'll last you a long time, man. They're great. All right, so the next thing I'm going to talk about, it's not essential, but it is nice to have, are some studio speakers. So not speakers that are, really have a great bass and stuff like that. Again, there's specific speakers that you can get that let you hear the music for what it really is. So this is really good for when you're mixing and mastering your music. You want to hear what it really sounds like. I don't personally have speakers just because I have a young son at home and I work late night, so I can't really have the music bumping that loud. But if you don't have the speakers, then you're going to be doing a lot of your mixing and a lot of your mastering with your headphones all the time, which I do, and I find I actually like it a little bit better. I find it's a little more personal. I find I can hear it a little better, but it's really nice to have the speakers as well, to be able to go back and forth, because you're going to get a different sound from the speakers than you are from your headphones. So it's nice to be able to compare those and troubleshoot that way. So if you can get the speakers and you have the space, I'd go ahead and just get them. All right, so for those of you who do want to get speakers, here's a really nice brand. And as you can see, they're $200, so they're not cheap, but they're a really nice addition. And as you can see here in the wording where it says for music production and mixing, you want to make sure that you get speakers that say this. That way you're not getting lied to with how your music really sounds. So that's really important to make sure that it is for music production, the speakers themselves. So last but not least is acoustic paneling. Is the stuff that you see behind me is mainly made for blocking out all the sound. So the sound when you're singing or when you're playing an instrument, sound waves, they bounce, right? So they're going to bounce off one wall, go to another wall, at the ceiling, and just keep bouncing around. So if you're in a small room like I am, the more acoustic paneling that you have, the better it's going to be. I pretty much got this whole room, 4x4 room, covered from ceiling to floor with it, and I find that that's what it needs with the room this small. But if you're in a little bit of a bigger room and you got more space and you have that that microphone kind of cover like I was talking about that has the acoustic paneling in it, then you're good to go. You really don't need that much acoustic paneling. I'd say if you're in a big room, you just need a little bit, and I'd get maybe the more quality kind, because there's some that they're different. The kind that I have is not super high quality, but it's pretty cheap. So with a small room like this where you need a lot of it, I think it's okay to get that as long as you're covering all the walls and all the ceilings with it. If you're not able to do that, and like if you're in a big room, I would just get, again, that microphone shield with the acoustic paneling already in it like we talked about, and then get some high quality acoustic panels, a few of them, and place them on the walls. So when you place them on the walls, you're going to want to make sure that you put them across from each other. So think of the sound when it's bouncing. So if you're rapping or singing, imagine that it's maybe bouncing off whatever is in front of you, and then it's going to bounce directly back. So you're going to want something behind you, and then you're going to want something on the side of you and on the other side of you, and then maybe even on the ceiling. Just a couple squares of it, just so if the sound bounces, it's hitting that. So just think of it like that, like a pinball machine. Where would the sound go? And try to place your panels in accordance with that. All right, so here's the acoustic paneling. It's about $45.99 for each set. They're 1 foot by 1 foot panels. Looks like there's about 12 that come in a set. For my walk-in studio, which is a 4 foot by 4 foot room, I used about five of these sets. So it cost me about $250 to do that. But again, there's different options for this, you guys. If you want to get a little more expensive ones and get less of them, if you want to get the least expensive ones, kind of like I did, and get more of them, either way they work. It's just kind of about the placement and where you put them. And again, you can get these on Amazon, and there's the picture of the name of it and the price below. All right, y'all. Well, I hope this video helped. I hope it brought a little bit of clarity to you. And, you know, of course, if you have any questions or anything, just go ahead and put it down in the comments below. You know, be sure to hit a thumbs up for the video, you guys. I appreciate that. And again, you guys, good luck with the home studio building, and good luck with all the music in the future. All right, y'all. Peace.